Hello, everybody, and welcome to Paranormal Nation Radio. Not so normal. It's a not so normal night. But
Nope.
yeah, get over here to the comments because I'm sure. Hi,
Nigel
Nigel.
is already there.
Hey, Nigel.
Yep, Nigel's always here.
Just
Very first one in on the comments and stuff. What's the matter?
What?
You was looking around at something. I thought something was the matter with your computer.
No, as soon as you started talking, one of our cats come running over here. Like, hey,
That cat knows
show
my
started
voice.
without me? Are you kidding?
Yeah, that cat knows my voice.
I know.
This is our
As soon as she heard, she come flying over here.
Yep, this is our Benjamin Buttons cat, the one that's
Smashed
getting
into
younger.
my leg.
Yeah, we're all doing fine, Nigel.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, that's our paranormal cat. It shows up during this show.
Yeah,
99% of the time.
Oh yeah. Last night though, she was nowhere to be found when Linda was showing us her cats. Of course, that was after the show, so nobody got to see that. But
right. No, if I ever get down to Florida and walk in the door and say something, that cat's going to come running to me.
Mm-hmm. Actually, she probably won't. She hates everybody.
Oh, she knows my voice. Every time I talk, first thing she comes up there.
It could be because she knows I'm paying attention to you.
And I'm sitting in her chair.
Yep. But what's funny is she don't come up before the show when we're all talking. She's one of these cats that likes it go live.
Yeah, she sees. Yeah, when she sees the live up there in the corner, she knows.
I think it's more she hears the music.
Oh,
now that could very well be. That very well could be. So anyway, but no, the weather's been great up here and everything.
Yeah, it was perfect today.
But I guess later tonight and tomorrow evening, storms south of us, down south of Kansas City, are going to be going through pretty bad. So
yep, I guarantee.
Yeah, I think
Mike will be storm chasing.
Thursday is they're calling for tornadoes, Kansas City area. I think it was Thursday.
Yep. Oh, I know, but no, we're in the 70s and everything up here. Beautiful day and stuff. So
are we. Sunny and 70 today.
Yeah. So
not
much difference in weather between. The only thing different is I don't have a beach out in front of me somewhere. I got a river down here with sand on it.
We got that too.
I could go down there.
That reminds me, somebody here shared a picture of something in their yard, and I'm looking at it and I'm going, that looks like a crawfish hole, and it's not like it was something that we saw all the time, but every once in a while at our old house, we would get crawfish in our yard, when it rained a lot. So it's not uncommon. Well, somebody tried to tell them that it was a underground bee hole, but you could see where the crawfish had brought the mud up and patted it down, made a little, like a chimney.
Yep.
And so I was laughing that you moved to the South. You should know what a crawfish hole looks like.
They should know. And everything. That's one of the popular meals down there.
Oh, but,
yeah. We know at any time there's water nearby, creek or anything like that, you got crawdads everywhere.
Mm-hmm. And we're in Cajun season here now. So with Easter comes Cajun.
Really?
Mm-hmm. That's about the same time that the crawfish are ready.
Oh, well, yeah, true.
So,
but there is a shortage on crawfish this year.
Yeah. That's what we heard.
It could be from that guy down there in Arkansas that's making crawfish moonshine.
I don't know. We've got a fellow from southern Mississippi that deer hunts across from the property where I deer hunt at. Right? We became real good friends with him. He's coming up here in April to turkey hunt with his son. He was going to send up a gigantic batch of crawfish so we could have a boil up here, right? Crawfish deal. But when he got down there and found out there's a shortage on it and everything, he goes, well, the crawfish ain't going to be there. So he's sending up a bunch of crabs.
Which
So
kind?
crab, I don't like crabs.
Well, the good ones here are the stone crabs. They're the ones that you only eat the legs. You go out, when you catch them, you pull off a couple legs and you leave them one big claw and throw them back in, and they all grow back. And it's the same sustainable, and they're supposed to taste like lobster.
Oh,
so
now if that's the case, then I could eat a lot of it. But Scott out there where I deer hunt, he can't eat crab meat. He can't eat lobster. He can't eat shrimp. He's allergic to it.
He's allergic to crustacean.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm allergic to lobster, but I'm not allergic to crab or shrimp.
Right. And he wasn't allergic to crawdads or any of that. So we was expecting a whole bunch of crawdads for a big fry up here. So
well, I already heard
like,
that it's not going to be good here for the crawfish boils.
Call them crawdads.
Yeah, it depends on where you're from. There's crayfish, crawfish, crawdads.
Yeah.
We used to catch them all the time.
We always say crawdads. Tom says up there in Illinois it's crawfish.
Yep.
And Tom crayfish. Says in Tennessee it's crawdads. In Missouri it's crawdads.
Crayfish.
Yeah.
So in Baltimore it just depended upon where you were raised. If you were raised in Virginia, it was crawdads. If you were down somewhere else, it was crayfish or crawfish. It just depended. So it's all interchangeable. But right, I got us a good guest tonight.
Yes, you do.
Because I guarantee not everybody wants to hear about our crustacean issues.
Probably not.
No. So, but before we get started, I do want everybody to know about the missing student in Nashville. Our family's been sharing it. He's a Mizzou student. Name is Riley. Just look him up on Facebook or out there. Missing in Nashville. And people need to go and look at his picture, see if they know who he is, help him get home if he's okay. If they know something, check it out, please.
How old is he?
He's 22. He's 6'5". And yeah.
Well, maybe you shouldn't be able to hard to find in a crowd. He'd be up above them.
Yeah, and he might weigh 160 pounds. So, but he went missing after he was at Luke Bryan's bar there in Nashville, and still no leads. They've been checking the river and everything else. He was supposed to go back to the hotel, and he never got there. And
yeah, Gary,
Nashville's
and I
not
will
a place
tell
to
Scott
think
about your chiropractor. Gary's chiropractor. He does the medical help, I guess you would call it. Herbs and things like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Pastor Gary used to be allergic to beef.
Yeah.
He found out when he was a dairy farmer, he was allergic to beef. That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, he went to his chiropractor, and we'll get to our guest in a second. He went to his chiropractor and told him this while he was getting adjusted. He goes, "Oh, I can take care of that and everything." He went back and mixed some concoction up of herbs and different things from China and everything. Came out and told him to drink it. Then handed him money and said, "Go to McDonald's and get you a cheeseburger." So Sue at that time had Benadryl in her hand just in case there was a reaction.
No, it wouldn't be because McDonald's isn't beef.
Right. But ever since he got that, right? He can eat beef anytime now. He only had to do it one time.
Ever since.
Well, yeah, he did get that cheeseburger pizza when we were at the courthouse.
Yep.
So, but our guest tonight is Catherine Lee, also known as Paranormal Poison. She is a paranormal investigator out of Cincinnati, Ohio. So, hello, Catherine.
Hello, Catherine.
Hi.
So how did you get started in the paranormal?
Oh my goodness. Well, we had stuff when I was young going on at our house, and it had to be exercised. And then we weren't allowed to be around it at all, but I was always drawn to it. Stephen King books and all the stuff, I was still drawn to it, but we weren't allowed to talk about it or anything. And then I guess what really, really set me off is I discovered Gettysburg, and that did it. We did a couple of the ghost walks with the kids. They were little. We were camping at Drummer Boy, and we took them on a couple of the ghost hunts, and I got interested in history. And then I was doing genealogy at the same time and discovering, my great grandfather being in the Civil War. And I thought, well, this is pretty neat. So I bought me a little cassette recorder. So I'm going to try this. And we stayed at the Colton, which is supposed to be haunted. And we got there late. Everything was closed. And I held the recorder over into the cemetery area. And we got back over there and I played it. And it said, turn around and run. That was my very first EVP. And I was hooked from there on.
I bet. And I've heard a lot of things about the Drummer Boy campground there.
Yeah, well, see, we really wasn't into the paranormal at that time. We had just taken the kids for a fun thing so they would learn the history at the same time as we did the ghost walk, learn some history too. And we wasn't into it at that time. So I don't know. Nothing ever happened to us there when we stayed.
No, I've just heard a lot about it from other people. They really like staying at that campground. It's changed ownership a couple times in the last 15 years.
It was real nice for the kids, for young kids. They had a lot
I heard
of fun.
that.
Have you ever seen the video? I'm sure you have. The Kling brothers, Scott, when they were younger at Gettysburg.
One of them was 12.
Yeah, one was 12, and the age difference between them. But you haven't seen that?
I don't know. What was the video?
Oh, you haven't seen? No, I'm not gonna. You got to see it. You got to see the video. That's how they got started. They accidentally got this video.
They witnessed something on their video camera because they heard
some soldiers marching across the field, and they were the only ones out there.
There was no reenactment.
There's nobody out there. It's out in the middle of the field.
Right.
It's what 3 or 4, lined up.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Wow. But, yeah, I have to see it.
Yeah, look that up. Just look it up. Just put Kling Brothers, Gettysburg.
Yeah.
And you'll see it.
It was just their family camera.
Yeah, they were just driving along and just videotaping the battlefield.
Right.
It just showed up.
It seems to be when you're not looking for it or not expecting it to happen, something to happen, that it happens.
Mm-hmm. That's how they got started. That's how they got hooked. But I mean, you can see why. Once you see the video, it's really good.
It's kind of like your EVP. There's no way that you wouldn't get hooked after you hear something like that.
Right.
Right. And you caught that on a tape cassette player.
Right. Yeah, analog.
Mm-hmm. Do you still use that?
Yes, I do still use analog. Yes, I do.
I've heard a lot of people say.
I use the digital, but supposedly the analog is supposed to be because of the magnetism in it. It's supposed to be able to imprint it better. So, but
I think it probably does work better.
Pardon me?
I think it does work better.
You think so?
Yeah.
I've got some good ones with the analog. Yeah.
You figure there's a few different magnets in there, so it's creating its own electromagnetic field to to draw them in, unlike a digital recorder, which only has the magnet in a little one in the little teeny tiny microphone and a little one in the speaker. That's it.
Right. And I've caught some pretty awesome ones on digital too, so. But I do believe in using both. And I always use more than one recorder in an area. So that way, if I catch something and it's not on the other recorder, or, I can compare it.
It could also be the difference between the timing of the spirit. when did it live? Does it understand what digital is versus the cassette tape?
Right. I mean, I've been called twice now a witch from the spirits. Now, I think it's because I have my camera gear on, and maybe because I love photographing old cemeteries. I don't investigate them, but I do turn my recorder on. So if I catch something, I catch something. But, and then it was the Jenny Wade house. But they've called me a witch, and it's like, and I wonder if it's from their time era, and then them seeing all the equipment I have, if that's, or they're seeing maybe the digital come up on the camera or something, the picture, they think I'm doing some kind of witchery stuff.
Maybe they think it's magic.
Right.
So, and we've been to the Jenny Wade house, just not in it.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Well, supposedly it's been moved, so it's not, I mean, it's still the house, but it's not where it used to be. They moved it because of the Holiday Inn that went in.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
When was that?
Long
yeah,
time
I was
ago.
going to say. Where we saw it is where they moved it to.
Yeah, it's been there. Yeah, mega years, but yeah, it was before the Holiday Inn was built.
I was saying, because it was there when I went in the 70s.
The Jenny Wade? Same spot?
I went in 1977.
Oh, okay.
The first time.
Wow.
It was a school field trip.
Oh, okay.
So, because I grew up in Baltimore.
Right.
So, needless to say, I got
talking about Baltimore all the time because that's where I was living before I moved here. Was Baltimore.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Well, I grew up actually in Essex, so in Baltimore County.
Right by me. I mean, we lived in Middle River.
That's where we lived. Middle River. I went to Hawthorne Elementary School and Stemmers Run.
Oh,
and Chesapeake.
They went to Victory Villa, and then Middle River Middle, and then they went to Kenwood for high school in Sellers Point.
Yeah, Kenwood I would have went to if we hadn't moved. But yeah, that's where I grew up. I used to, Stemmers Run was the junior high school then. I guess it's now a middle school. My sister went to Deep Creek Middle School. So we lived all over.
Beat me to it, Carl.
Yep.
I
was watching it, and then all of a sudden I went, yep, that one needs to be better.
I didn't even see it.
No.
So
good thing you didn't need to see it. I've been waiting for stuff like that to been popping up. It hadn't been going on for 6 months.
Yeah.
But yeah, I heard. No. I heard that area.
It was just we were just due.
Yeah. I heard that area has changed a lot that I wouldn't even recognize it though from. I mean, I left in 1981 and then left again in 84. And I haven't been back since 89.
It changed a lot since I was living there. And then we moved to Joppa. And we lived in Joppa, and that's where I lived when me and my husband split up.
And that's where Frank used to hang out. In all the bars. Yeah. A friend of mine used to hang out in the bars in Joppa, and he grew up over, Joppa Town.
Oh.
My grandmother used to get her hair done over there. But that's, my grandfather worked over there too at one time. So, like I said, we lived all over the area from 65 until 80. Let's see, we got married in 84. So, up until 84, I moved around up in that area mostly.
I miss it. I miss the history. I love the history. I miss the history there, and I miss being able to, well, of course, go to Gettysburg. That really messes with me. But I miss, there's so many places, a hop, skip, and a jump. You're in another state, and, there's more history there. It's just, I do miss living there.
Like I tell everybody, when I think about home, I think about there,
right.
Towson and all that stuff, and the Edgar Allan Poe home and Westminster and all the different places that are out there. And historically speaking, there is so much history. I mean, Fort McHenry, I mean, we used to go there all the time. Did you ever get to go to Fort McHenry?
Oh yeah, I've been quite a few times. Yeah.
Did you ever have any paranormal experiences there?
No. Mm-mm.
How about the USS Constellation?
I did that a couple times. I didn't have any experiences. Now it was during the day and it was day tours. So, I mean, I know now they do a overnight one, and shoot the cannon off in the morning or something. But I never did do that. I didn't get to do that.
When I was brought home from the hospital as a baby, where in that same area where the Harbor Place is, there used to be McCormick's Spice Company was right across the road there. You could smell it all over. I mean, it was probably the best smelling inner city ever.
Oh,
you smelled fish and Old Bay everywhere. But I was brought home to an apartment that was right there. It was $25 a month, and it was in the area where the National Aquarium is and all that. And so I was always in that area. But in 1974, we went on our very first field trip to the USS Constellation, and I had a paranormal experience in the hull. And it was during the day. So, it was a little boy, not little, probably a teenage boy that was down there. And it was funny when we saw it on TV later on. They had Shane Pittman was there, and with Dave Schrader and Cindy Kaza. And I was like, this is so weird, because he had an experience in the same area that I did. And I had told people about it before, but I never even thought about it, because I was 9 years old. You don't really talk about it when you're 9 years old.
Right.
So, but you're right, there is a lot of stuff, but you've also got a lot of stuff in the Cincinnati area. Between there and Kentucky, you got Bobby Mackey's just across the river, and
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and
how many times you been there?
I haven't been there yet.
Really?
No, I moved here because my brother had cancer, which he lost his battle with it. And
I'm sorry.
Then after that, my father died, who was here, and that's only been a couple years ago. So it's been a rough few years. I lost my mom, then my brother, and then my dad. And I haven't got out to do a lot of the stuff around here.
At least you got to be there for your family.
Yes, I was. Yes.
Well, there's in the area that you're in, there is so many things. One of my friends, Karen Lavin, she's going to be shocked as shit that I said her name right. She wrote a book about haunted Cincinnati and haunted Dayton, and some other things there. And she lists off, just in Cincinnati area alone, probably 30 different places that you could check out.
Well, I will have to look up her book then, because I have went online and I've Googled, like haunted areas around Cincinnati, or and I just haven't found a whole lot.
One of the places that we went was the Damsville Rectory. We did Bobby Mackey's in that place in the same day.
Yeah, but you can't get in there now.
Yeah, you can't get in there now in the Damsville because the church took it back.
Yeah.
But the house next door to it, if it's open, I'd go there, because somebody had died in that house, and we saw the bed. It was obvious somebody had died.
Oh, wow. Do you have anything happen at Bobby Mackey's?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We had quite a few things. We had, down by there's a holding cell downstairs near the portal to hell. It's
the pit.
Yeah. The well, the water well that's there. I was questioning the quality of the spirit's hookers, and this red thing went right across my face, like I was getting slapped. I didn't get slapped, but that's what it looked like. And I was like, okay, well, because the history of it has the mafia involved, a Latin mafia. So it was interesting on that. And then we were by the bull, the mechanical bull, and we were sitting at a table by the mechanical bull, and we heard something. And Ron and I got up to go check it out because it was on the other side.
Yeah.
And we get over there, and then it's on this other side, back where we were at.
Yeah, it was making noises on the opposite side. It just kept doing that. And we finally said, okay, it's playing the game with us.
Right.
And we were there, it's just us. Yeah, it's just us and the tour guide.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, yep, I've seen that before.
And she was just sitting at the bar.
Yep.
My mom, she went there for an event, and she just said, she goes, that place made me feel weird. My mom she never really had paranormal experiences. But she just said she didn't know that the place was haunted until after.
So I told
her.
They
put the sign up.
Yeah. I think the sign was already up.
Yeah.
But she didn't know it was haunted until I told her after she had went. And, but yeah, there's still a lot of places though, just in that area. I want to go the Thomas House. Isn't that out there as well?
Yeah, we're only up there that one night.
Yeah,
or was it two?
No,
that was one night.
It was one long day.
Yeah,
and then
that's in
Buffalo
Kentucky,
Trace Distillery.
The Thomas House, is that in Kentucky?
Yeah, I think it's in Kentucky, just across, just down the road a little bit from Bobby Mackey's.
Oh, okay.
And you got Buffalo Trace Distillery down in Frankfurt. There's a bunch of things that are haunted down in Frankfurt as well.
I figured there's probably a lot in Kentucky.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only, maybe an hour and a half drive, to Frankfurt?
I am 2 exits from Kentucky.
No,
2 exits
yeah,
I'll be in Kentucky.
Yep.
We liked it in that part of Ohio. I had never been.
Yeah, that's a nicer part.
Yeah. I'd never been to Cincinnati before, and I thought it was nice, except for the neighborhood where the Stampsville Rectory was in.
Right. Well, I guess that's it, go down to North Avenue in Baltimore, I mean, you've got your bad areas, I guess, in every state. I was raised on the outskirts. I was born and raised here.
Yeah.
But I spent most of my life has been spent in Baltimore. I'm like you. I consider that more of my home than I do Ohio, even though I was born and raised here. I spent more years living in Baltimore.
Yeah,
You got a son in West Virginia?
I have yes, I do, and I have my grandchildren are in West. Is he in the chat? I don't have the chat.
He just said hi.
Yeah, probably can't
it's
see
at the bottom of the screen there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell him I said, well, hi, son. My daughter was going to listen in too. I don't know if
there she is.
There she is.
There she is, right there.
She lives down there too. They moved there. All of them moved there from Maryland. After I came here, they all eventually ended up in West Virginia, which is where my family's all from. They're in that area. And my first husband, which is their father, who's passed away, but he's from down there in that area.
Yeah, my family used to live in Beckley.
Oh, okay. So that's not too far. They go to Beckley to go to the mall and stuff from where they live now.
I still have
my
family
daughter
in
works
Beckley.
in Summersville.
Okay, so lots of haunted stuff there.
And where?
So,
Summersville or
in Summersville?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's a
Night, Nigel.
Hospital.
Hi, Nigel.
There's a hospital there that's haunted, and then if you go, no, this is Summersville. It's owned by somebody that I won't say her name.
You can tour the hospital, or
you can investigate it too.
Oh,
and up in also there is a store and museum owned by Dave Spinks, and he does a paranormal conference in Summersville.
Oh, okay.
So if you follow Dave Spinks, you should be able to find it. So he doesn't own the hospital. Cindy does.
Does he have a
But
store?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I've been in his store. Actually, the town his store's in is where my daughter lives, Richwood.
Okay. He always said, "Oh, you didn't mention your favorite son-in-law."
Oh, and my son-in-law. Sorry, Will.
It's nerves. She's not
Yeah.
used to being on here yet.
Thank you, Denise.
So, that's that store. You know,
Dave, a couple years ago, you just got it.
Dave showed us around.
Yeah, before it even opened.
On camera, he showed us around, and such a good guy. He gets a lot of shit, but he's a good guy.
But we did go in his store. My son took me there, actually.
Yeah.
Went down there visiting.
I tell you, I like West Virginia. I just wish they had more exits.
Yeah. Right.
Sometimes there's not a place to go to the bathroom when you need to go. That's all.
Yeah. Well, me, I just pull off the side of the road and go. I'm a country girl.
Well, I used to do that, but now I'm afraid I'm going to get a ticket and have to register as a sex offender. So it's
really? I never thought of that.
If you're bearing your bottom, it could happen.
I guess I won't be on the side of the road anymore.
Well, and then you're really not all that far from Trans-Allegheny if you're even close to Charleston.
Yes, my grandmother actually was in Trans-Allegheny.
Oh.
Yeah. So I don't know a lot of what went on there. Rob, who's a photographer, paranormal too, he started telling me some, and then I told him that, and he said, "I'm not going to tell you anymore then." I said, "Okay." So I saw it, but I haven't toured it. We stopped one day, but they weren't open because we were in the area. We went to Moundsville.
Yeah.
And then we swung in and we looked up Trans-Allegheny, but yeah.
Yeah, we just happened to be driving by.
Then we saw the
exit and said, "We got to turn off."
Saw a sign for it on the highway. It was like, we looked at each other and went, "Oh, we got to go."
Did you get to tour it?
No.
Well, we went in there and walked around quite a bit.
Yeah.
You were able to go in?
Yeah, we were able to walk in on the first floor.
Yeah, the main building.
Use the bathroom, walk around the outside a little bit, and then left.
I think they had
I tried the doors. I guess I just figured it was closed.
They had a tour that night, but it was like 6, 7 hours.
Yeah.
We'd have to kill, but.
And we were coming back from Gettysburg, so we were a little tired.
Yeah.
We were heading down to Eastern Kentucky. So, because my mom used to live there, and my sister still
travel
does.
all over.
Mm-hmm. We've gone way more places than I could. I mean, I can't even count them anymore.
Wow. Now, see, me and my ex, we went to a lot of places. He did this with me too, and we traveled around.
So
good.
Well, because a lot of couples, some, the ones that meet doing this seem to continue to do it. And then it's strange how so many people, their spouse or significant other could care less about the paranormal.
Yep.
Right.
Lots of them.
Yeah, like
in fact, it's rare that both of them do it. It is. It's real rare.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure he doesn't do it anymore. I was the main person,
Yeah.
The joke was if my kids or him wanted to see me, they had to go to Gettysburg. That's where I was all the time. So.
I have another friend that spent a lot of time in Gettysburg from Maryland. So she lived in Frederick, though. So she was a little closer than you.
Yeah, I was about an hour and a half away.
And that's on a good day.
Yeah. Well, I always took the back roads. So I didn't have to fight that beltway traffic,
Yeah, I don't miss that.
Doing a lot of investigations this summer and just north of her, up there in Ohio.
Oh, are you?
Yeah. If you watch on Sunday nights at 5 p.m., the No BS with Chris Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Houston's a paranormal investigator and everything. He's up mid to northern part of Ohio.
Okay.
So he's north of Mansfield.
Yeah.
So
I did Mansfield.
And not only is he a paranormal investigator, he's a big shit disturber.
Yes, he is.
That's why the show's called No BS.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You can imagine what it stands for, but yeah.
Bright
He's
sunshine. Bright
He's
sunshine.
a paranormal investigator and a political person, so we'll put it that way.
Much more political than I am.
Is this show political or is it paranormal?
Both.
This network is paranormal to political.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the Bill of Rights Network. Freedom of speech on here.
So we also have shows on here that talk about gardening and being self-sustainable.
Yeah.
Oh.
So plus the
we have a
political
lot of
shows.
different shows over here.
Gotcha.
Carl has a cooking show sometimes.
Yeah. I do live videos of a griddle where I griddle food and different things on there at different times. And I do laser engraving. So I got a show, Wizards Engraving, showing people how I do different engravings on wood and tile and stuff. And one of our people that does the show, laser engrave stuff like that. So
that's nice.
That's much better than the modeling show that you guys had.
Yeah.
They have
sitting there watching you guys glue stuff was just.
I know. I'm glad that show is done.
Watching paint dry, right?
It was. We did have to watch that. We did have to watch paint dry.
We did. Hey, we did a lot of talking while we was doing that too.
Yeah, you guys did, but you never really got to see the comments because you had your head down all the time.
I know.
What were your models of? What'd you build?
What were your models of?
Well, we were building model cars and model airplanes and different things like that, painting them and stuff. So, yeah, that show's gone. But
no offense, but I have to side with Denise on this. I think that'd be a little boring to watch.
It was.
Yeah.
And everything.
It was, but you know, we would come in and just support and, you know, yak. And go, okay, well, they're not seeing my comments. I'm leaving.
But we, like I said, we have a lot of shows from political shows all the way down to paranormal and griddling and homesteading and gardening and everything on this network.
And we're getting a religious show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. One of our guests that we had on the show is bringing his podcast over here.
Oh, cool.
And stuff. So that could be very interesting, that show.
Yeah.
The way he'll bring it.
Yeah. He's very good. Father Kenneth.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. You did get him.
Yeah, Padre.
Okay.
Yeah.
We ought to start calling him
figure out
Padre.
a name for the show and figure out what time zone, time frame, and everything to do it.
Padre Kenneth.
Padre Kenneth.
No, I'm teasing. I'm just giving him a nickname. Okay. He's Father Kenneth. He is actually a priest.
Oh, okay.
So we know that, you know, Padre is father.
Right.
So, and it wouldn't be offensive, I don't think.
No.
I think he takes his hair. And he's from Patterson, New Jersey, another place I grew up. I know. It's fun. I'm trying to keep track of where I've lived.
Was your dad in the military or something?
No, my dad was a mill worker.
Huh.
Dad didn't move around that much.
All over.
Yeah, my dad moved around a lot, but yeah, when it came down to it, it was paper mills or fabric mills until they all went pretty much out of the country. The paper mills are still here, but the fabric mills left a long time ago. All that's in China, India, and Pakistan now.
Right.
So, but I was born to keep my dad out of Vietnam, or out of Yeah, out of Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
How did that happen? What do you mean? So he didn't have to go
Back
because
then,
he was born?
yeah, back then they when they first started the draft, you know, you had to register when you were 18. At first they weren't taking married men, so he married my mother.
Oh,
So
okay.
then they said, you know, they were running out of people to voluntarily come in, and they were talking about drafting him, and so he got my mom pregnant. Lo and behold, here I am, and that knocked him out. They wouldn't take married men, and so
that happened.
Yep. So I was a Vietnam draft baby, draft dodging baby. But there were, you know, they still needed people here to do the jobs that all the people left to go for it. Just like in World War II, just less people were displaced because of the war. But, you know, because of my dad, we got to live in a lot of different places, you know, Virginia, Baltimore, New Jersey, and got to find out about the history of all these different areas. And just like you said, it doesn't matter where you live, really, but you can find history that's going to keep you involved.
Right.
So, because we've already found history here to get us involved down here in Florida. And
you found history down in Florida before you even moved there.
Well, that's because I was interviewing people
on from Florida.
Yep.
Yeah, I started interviewing everybody. I started interviewing my friends before we got here, and now we're friends. We're actually investigating with Rob, Santa Rob.
Yeah, on Saturday.
On Saturday.
Ooh.
Our friend Rob looks like Santa Claus.
Oh, okay.
Just shave the beard.
Yeah, he did shave the beard, so when you see pictures of him, Carl, he won't look the same. But,
okay.
But yeah, we're going to be checking out this old Muskegee cemetery over near Cantonment.
I did a cemetery down there, and I don't remember what one it was, though. Do you remember I Am Haunted, the website? Okay. Somebody that I met there, their team, we were going to Florida, and they asked if I would join them on the investigation of the cemetery. So while we were down there, we went and did it. But I don't remember which cemetery it was.
Where did you go on your trip? The city?
We went to Daytona. We always stayed in Daytona because they had a condo there. But I don't remember where we traveled. I mean, I don't remember how far we drove.
Well, where we're at is going to be at least 6 hours from there, so I doubt that it's that.
Okay,
but there are a lot of old cemeteries in Florida. You know, some of them, we have a couple that date back to the 1500s.
Well, St. Augustine's got to have some old ones.
Oh, yeah.
Funny fact.
That's my second favorite city in the United States. Gettysburg.
She's never been there. I'm gonna take her.
Well, funny thing is
yeah, that's a neat city.
A fun fact is that Pensacola is older than St. Augustine.
Oh, really?
Even though St. Augustine tries to tell everybody it's the oldest city, but Pensacola is older.
Yes,
by 5 years.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah, you're right, because I thought it was the oldest, because that's what they said.
Yeah, I was teasing last night about the fact that we all see, when people see spirits, they see all these different things, and one of the spirits that I saw was dressed up like kind of Johnny Depp, a pirate,
down there.
Yeah, because there's a bunch of pirate wrecks and stuff, and people would bury their stuff on land here, but this guy that I saw was actually in a frilly shirt, and he was dressed in a French military uniform, is what he was dressed in, but it was in a part of town that I didn't know anything about, but it was really funny that I saw this guy. But I have a feeling that
she was in the bathroom.
Yeah, I was in the bathroom.
But it wasn't nice of him to be in there.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he knew it was a bathroom, because I know that potties existed. I just don't know. I mean, especially with the French, but I don't think he knew that all this was going to happen.
Right.
But yeah, I think down here we probably have quite a few pirate ghosts.
I'm sure.
And I was teasing about Mardi Gras here. Got all these people that love the pirate culture. And we just had our Renaissance fair last weekend. And I just wonder how many ghosts that people who die right now will come back showing themselves as pirates because they loved dressing up like a pirate for the Mardi Gras parades.
Right.
Hard to tell.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and when people say period clothing, you're going to be going, what period?
Yeah.
Right.
So, and it could really throw people off when they're investigating. Just think about that. If they're dressed like a pirate and you see this, are you going to think that they died last week, or are you going to think that they died 200 years ago?
Right. You're automatically going to go to the 200 years ago.
Right.
I think. Yeah.
I think so. But it's going to be fun to figure that out. So, but yeah,
if you can.
I know
That would be hard to try to figure out unless you got names.
And maybe someday, but yeah, we're gonna check out this old Muskogee cemetery. That's what it's called over there. And the team that we're going with, I guess, is apparently our new team that we're on. We're gonna go check it out and see what's going on over there. And it's not the Coon Hill Cemetery, Carl, that we were talking about.
Oh, okay.
We're still gonna go over there. But none of them wanted to go there. They'd all been there, and they said that they didn't feel anything. They didn't. So, and fun fact here as well, my hairdresser said that her best friend is cleaning up the old Muskogee cemetery that we're going to. She's been working on fixing up the gravestones, cleaning them and all that other stuff. She's into the restoration. So I already have a couple ends there.
Yeah.
So
good.
It'll be interesting to see. And then we got some other stuff coming up. Are you planning on doing anything, Catherine, now that you've got a little bit more time?
Oh, well, yeah, I do. I'm getting back into it more. Like I said, I had stepped away with everything going on in the family, and I don't remember when I was on your show last that I told you the last EVP I had got in Gettysburg that told me you're not supposed to call the dead. And that kind of made me step back a little bit, like, okay.
You actually heard that?
Yes. Well, no, I got it on the recorder.
Oh, really?
Yes. And said you're not supposed to call it. That was bottom of Triangular Field, actually, is where I caught that. Sitting on a rock. You're not supposed to call the dead, which I don't when I investigate. I don't call out names. I don't call people out. I don't have like EVP sessions. My recorder stays running.
Yeah.
I talk to myself a lot because I'm out there a lot. I'll be out there a lot by myself researching, and they just seem to chime in and talk, or even with other people, I pick them up. Or if I'm just sitting there reading some of the history books, I will pick up.
Oh, yeah. If you're doing something and not paying attention to them, they'll contact you if you're out there.
Yeah. So I don't call the dead. So I don't know why I actually got that, unless, there's been controversy about that. Means some other people but am I calling the dead? Because that's potentially why I am turning on that recorder.
Yeah.
To catch that. But I'm not calling their names, but yet I am turning the recorder on.
Yeah, because you still have a listening device of some sort.
So am I calling them? I don't know. That's...
And the question is what, when you're doing this, does the spirit even know You know, are the spirits that are talking to you, do they even know why you're there? Could it have been somebody who died recently, like somebody who does know that it's a recorder? You know, not a historical spirit, just a spirit that's roaming through there.
Right.
Because
well,
that's
I have
one
a
thing
time. Go ahead.
It's just one thing that always irritates me is that everybody seems to think all the spirits in Gettysburg died 200 years ago.
People's ashes are still spread out there on that battlefield.
Right.
You're talking
but
present
there,
day.
yeah,
So
and
there's suicides out there. You know, there's a lot that goes on there that, yeah, just like, you know, people saying they swept the area. No, I mean, how are you going to do that when besides they, you know, the ashes, other people are still having their ashes spread on the battlefield, or there's still suicides going on and different things in the park. Like you said.
Well, there is one thing legally they can say there are no new ashes spread here on because it's illegal.
Right.
But people know it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just like my mom's ash.
Park people there.
Yeah.
And they gave me a lot
of what
stuff, and
we did not see one park ranger the whole time we were there.
Wow.
They laid them all off.
Seriously?
What we were told.
We weren't running around at night.
Probably.
Out there.
Wow.
We should have. So Gary saw a UFO at the cemetery last night.
Possible UFO.
He thinks he did. He was seeing something up in the sky, trying to take pictures of it, and his camera quit. He shut it off. It came back on, pointed it up to take a picture, and it quit. So he took the batteries and SD card out, put them back in, and the camera came back on.
Did you see the news?
But it was gone.
Okay, so early this morning, the Dragon came down and did a splash landing here in northern Florida.
Oh.
I see.
Well, that would have been this morning. This would have been last night. Let's see. We did your show at 7.
We were off at 8:30.
Show.
Okay. I don't know when it made a re-entry into the atmosphere, but I would say it was probably closer to like 4 a.m. It was 4:43 when it splashed down in the Gulf by Pensacola. There was all kinds of news reports about seeing it over Mississippi.
Oh.
Made the news last night, and that's how I found out about it this morning.
Right.
But, you know, have you ever seen Starlink going over?
I haven't.
Me either.
I have.
I've tried when they said you were able to see it, and
when you see it, you'll see like 7 little stars in a straight line.
And I thought that would be cool. I just wanted to see it, you know, up in the sky.
Oh, you can see it quite often. There's so many of them up there.
Really?
And everything. So
I guess I need to sit outside in the dark more. He keeps trying to get me out there. It's just yes, I know it's sunny and 70, and I'm wearing a sweat jacket, so I'm cold all the time.
Well,
so. Oh, okay. So your son says he saw it last fall when it went over.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So, I want to see it. I hear that we have UFO sightings everywhere. Have you ever seen anything that might have been a UFO?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Where?
Yes. In Ohio.
Gettysburg?
No, but people have said they've seen them there. No, in Ohio. I was I was married. I didn't have no kids yet. So I was late teens, I guess, early 20s. And I was heading over to my ex-husband, then was working third shift with my mom. And I didn't want to be alone in the house. So I was driving over to stay with my dad. And it's this back road, and there's this big golf course. And as I was, it's all dark, you know, it's night. And as I was approaching the golf course, I seen this big object hovering over the golf course with lights. So I stopped my car. Well, what is that movie? Encounters of the Third Kind or something.
Yeah.
One of them where it shows that truck gets stalled out. One of the shows like that had come out. So I had stopped my car, right? And I'm like, what am I looking at? And then I thought, oh my God, what if my car stalls? You know, because I thought of that movie. And I hit the gas and I turned and it was gone. Either the lights all went out or something, and it was hovering right along, right below the tree line, you know. So, and then there were several after that. It was in the paper. There was other people that had spotted a UFO, they thought, in the area.
How big would you say it was?
Oh, well, we're talking a golf course. That's pretty big.
The length of the golf course?
No, it wasn't that big. No, it wasn't that big. But I mean, it was good size. I don't know to do the measurements. It wasn't. It didn't cover the whole golf course. No.
About the length of a football field, man. Then maybe.
Maybe if that big, and about that.
That's big.
Tonight, all the cats have decided they want to be where we are.
I seen an orange one in the back at the window.
Here
Yep,
she
that
is.
one.
Yeah,
Earlier.
Big fluffy.
Thank God my dog can't out next
This
to
is
me.
this is the treat monster. She loves cat treats.
How many cats you have? 2?
3.
3.
So are you planning on any Paracons or anything this year?
No.
Going to them?
No. No.
I hear that there's a real good one there in Mansfield every May.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And I think the Paracon itself is free. You only pay to check out the prison if you wanted to go into the reformatory.
Right.
And also saw that Mansfield on April 8th is going to be in totality for the one of the cities that's going to be in totality for the eclipse.
Oh, are they?
Yep.
Yep. I'm out of it.
Oh,
it's just a little bit.
Yeah, you'll still see something.
Yeah, but we're out of seeing the whole thing.
We're totally out of it. I won't be seeing it. I'll be in the hospital.
We're in it. I think we're in it like 70% or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that if we see anything here, it would be about 60 to 70%. So, but we were involved in the last one enough.
Yeah, that was by accident.
Yeah, that was by accident.
You got involved.
I'm pretty sure it's going to get dark every night. They say that the eclipses, they cause there to be more paranormal activity.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because of the change in the magnetic field.
I can tell you that all the years of doing Gettysburg, my ex-husband would know. He would look and say, oh, Lord, okay, it's going to be a full moon. She's gone. Okay, it's going to be a new moon. She ain't going to be home. I bet you she's in Gettysburg. And I did 3 days before to 3 days after of every week. If there was solar flares, if there was eclipse or something going on, I would go and try to see the difference in activity, picking up activity or witnessing activity.
Sounds to me like you went there on any day that ended in Y.
What's
pretty much?
where would you say was your favorite spot or the hot spot?
I called it the trail, and it was actually where the old trolley used to run through when they did an old trolley back then and ran people through the Gettysburg, through the battlefield. It came down at the bottom from Triangular Field, and then you cross the road, and then it continued in Rose Woods, and that's where I hung out all the time. I called them my Georgia boys. I hung out in Rosewoods all the time, and I got a lot of stuff there. I went all over, but that's the main area. I mean, I always hit that area, and sometimes I just spent my whole time there, you know.
Yeah.
Did you ever investigate at Sachs Bridge?
Oh yes, a lot. hmm I've got
What
photos.
kind of activity did you get there?
Well, I heard stuff. Like they said, I was there all by myself, and it was late or early in the morning. I don't know which one. Because you can be there all night long as long as you're not disrespecting it. They don't run you off. So I loved it because nobody else was there, and I got out and walked up to it, and I started walking back to my car, and I heard what people claim. I would say that's probably what I heard is the sound of the men being hung on the bridge, and it was really loud, but it was like, I don't know, it wasn't thump. I don't know how to explain it, but it was a noise I'd never heard before, and there was nobody there. There was absolutely nobody there. I've got a little girl talking to me up on the bridge, and I also caught a picture of a little girl. I was on the other end of the bridge, and I caught her on the far end of the bridge. I also have a soldier that is walking away from Sachs Bridge and coming up the road there. I had snapped a picture, and I didn't even know I caught that. I was looking at him at home, and my ex said, "What is that?" I said, "Oh, wow." But yeah, he was walking. I caught an old wheelchair in a picture at Sachs Bridge. This was all happening, and I did study that area for a long time, because what happened was when I discovered, I found that I got that one picture of the soldier walking. I figured out the time. I said, okay, so I'm going to go back there. And it was right before the geese or ducks or whatever started squawking and flying. And right after that is when it was just started getting dark. And I caught, that's where I caught the wheelchair picture. It's actually laying on its side, and the whole bridge is just fogged out in white. And then the wheelchair is laying upside down, like almost in front of me. And I would pull the Mustang up on the side of the bridge and back up, and I would just park there and get out, and then I could sit there and take pictures or whatever the whole time to see if I caught more stuff. But it's pretty active. Sachs is pretty active. You just got to catch it when there's not a lot of people there, you know?
Yeah, your son asks for you. Well, your son said, your daughter said, tell the one about Kenna and the EVP.
Kenneth and the EVP.
Is it Kenneth or Keena?
Keena.
Keena.
Yeah, Keena, my dog. Yes. Okay. I may have said this on your other show. I was in Rosewoods, and me and my daughter had went off the trail and was sitting more in the woods area. So if people were coming up and down the trail, which not many traveled it, so I loved it. I was hid away from everybody there. And I was reading some books, and we had Keena with us, 150-pound dog. And she always listened to me. She didn't wander away. I had her off the leash. And she had started going up the creek, and then she just got scared. She got up to where the wood bridge is there, and she turned and darted up through all these briars. And I was yelling at her, chasing her and yelling at her. And I got her, and I said, "Come on, Tara, let's go get an ice cream in town. It'll be dark. We'll come back." So we went and got an ice cream, and we came back, and we were on the bridge at this point. Little rock that come around the bridge, the stone. I had stepped over on it, and Keena was sticking her head through the rails, and I was taking pictures of her because it looked cute, right? And then all of a sudden she come back by my daughter, and her ears were all laid back, and she was scared to death. Well, when I listened to the EVPs, I got a voice calling her a bad dog. Bad dog. So that's had to be from earlier where she ran away from me, right there at that bridge, and I caught her. Then we left and came back and got the bad dog. Yep. So she heard it.
Oh,
She
that's
was
amazing.
Mm.
Want to say hi to Padre Kenneth there? I'm glad you're here. Can't wait to hear your show once you get it started.
Yep.
So we're
Just keep
excited
me
about that.
informed, Kenneth.
So some of the things that you say just remind me of Baltimore and the people I've known from there. So you were definitely a transplant there for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's once, you can take the girl out of Baltimore, you can't take the Baltimore out of the girl.
Out of the girl. Right.
So do you think that I already know the answer to this, okay?
Yeah.
So do you think that animals have paranormal experiences?
No, definitely. Yeah, we had one at the house that picked on Keena. Yeah. They would mess with her and mess with her rear end and hit her and stuff, and she'd turn around and jerk and
How
I'd
can
yell
you
at her.
tell? I mean, how can you tell that a dog is seeing a spirit and not just zoning out because they can?
Well, like all my dogs I took to Gettysburg with me. But like Keena, we would be walking and all of a sudden she'd put her brakes on. And there'd be no reason for it. She loved going walking in the woods, But she'd put her brakes on. She'd be on the leash and she'd start pedaling backwards. This is when she wasn't going no further. And I was like, what the heck's wrong with the dog? And they act scared. I think, their ears go back and they're just looking and maybe trying to understand what's going on, or they're scared of what they're seeing,
I did see a mountain lion when we were there in Gettysburg.
I did too.
Yeah.
Now, I will tell you that there's certain park people.
Oh, really?
I have to be careful here. That have vouched for it too. Okay. They were going up Emmitsburg Road, I believe it was. And a deer went flying in front of their vehicle, and on its butt was a mountain lion.
Yep.
I seen one too on
We saw it near Little Round Top.
No, I saw it over by General Lee's monument, that area. Yep. I
think
we saw
it wasn't too far from there.
We saw
I was walking down the field and then right at the end, like the valley down there, it was just walking nice and calm, looked up, kind of up towards me, and then just kept walking. And I kind of looked and went, okay, I see where you're at. I see where the car is. I think I could outrun you.
That's it. I mean, I
didn't have to go very far.
I was in the Mustang and it was convertible. And the only thing I thought is, oh my God, I hope that thing can jump on top of my car.
I know.
It was getting dark, and its eyes caught my attention. They were like diamonds with the headlights on it, but it was crossed over and was in like a ditch area there on that part of the battlefield. And as I'm approaching it, I'm like, what is that? And of course, I got my camera right next to me. Don't think to grab it, but because then I seen the big long tail coming out. And as I got closer, I could see it was watching me, and it was like, oh, shoot. And I just kept going. I didn't stop to take a picture of it. Yep, there is mountain lions there.
What color was your mountain lion?
What color was it? It was brown, yellow.
Like a light brown.
I was gonna say, because I thought the one you saw was like the color of a golden retriever.
Light brown.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Color.
Yeah.
Because
I've seen them that color, and I've seen them black up in our area.
Yeah.
And I've seen pale colored ones. Of course, where we lived, we in Kansas, we were right down the road from the feline sanctuary.
Oh.
And there was a mountain lion that I saw twice. Funny thing is it was hanging out by the elementary school. I told him, I said, probably knows it's easy pickings.
Yeah, that'd be a little scary. So did he get loose?
It was in the summer, and so lucked out there was no kids out there at that time, but it's still funny that it would hang out there. It's just like the turkeys that would hang out behind Price Chopper. I'm like, of course you're safe there. Nobody's going to go get one of those turkeys when you can get to the store and get one already dressed.
Right.
See them every morning.
Yep. Every day, those little suckers.
Yeah, but if you report it, if you were to report it to the park rangers or any of them, they'll say nope.
Yeah.
That's how our town was.
They would have to close the park down because of safety. I was told because it would be because of safety of the tourists.
Mass hysteria.
So if they were to acknowledge that, yes, there is a mountain lion or mountain lions roaming around there, they have to close it down.
Well,
that's like for years they said there wasn't none here in Missouri. Everybody kept seeing them. Conservation. Oh, no, you didn't. It was a big bobcat. No, it wasn't a big bobcat.
Yeah.
There's no mountains in that part of Missouri. That's why.
Nah.
Well, when I was little, we lived a half a mile from Show Creek and everything. And in the evening, sitting outside, you'd hear the screams. Dad, being a father and got little kids around and everything, would say, oh, no, it's the ladies uptown in the old nut house deal up there in the nursing home screaming. And growing up and hearing that, and then I was probably about 21, and I was down in that area deer hunting and came out of the timber and got in my vehicle. And as I backed out on the gravel road, I seen something in the road up there, and I went, that don't look right. I drove up there, got out of the vehicle with my rifle and scope, and 55 yards away is this blonde-colored mountain lion standing at the edge of the timber.
Mm-hmm.
And I was sitting there going, oh, and they're illegal. No.
Yeah, well, I've seen video in Pennsylvania where people they have filmed them coming up to their glass sliding doors, but they still deny that they're there.
Right.
Yeah. We have bears here. Big Florida bears.
I did not know Florida had bears.
Yeah.
Bears and
lots.
And panthers.
Yeah, I knew that panthers.
We've had a lot of black bears showing up in our area here lately. People getting them on trail cams and everything.
If you want to see a funny video of a bear, look for the one where it says "Bear Swimming in Ocean" by Destin.
I did see one that a bear was swimming in the ocean.
Yep.
That comes swimming up where the people were.
Yeah. There was another one where they were saying that
there's an alligator or Dolphin Island.
In Dolphin Island on the other side of us. That one looked photoshopped though.
Yeah, it could have been.
But I still think it could happen. But right now
down there, don't you?
Huh?
You got alligators down there, right?
Yeah, but not in the ocean. They're not saltwater alligators.
Oh,
alligators are saltwater. No, crocodiles are saltwater.
Yeah.
And alligators
are fresh.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And so they wouldn't be in the ocean most likely.
Right.
So, but you wouldn't think a bear would be out swimming with a whole bunch of people.
I wonder how he got out there.
Hey, it's looking for fish to eat.
Maybe it wanted some shark meat.
To
go along with those great whites that we've been having.
Oh, yeah.
I know. Now it makes you want to go to the beach. It was when I saw that, it was like just one more thing that can kill you.
Yeah.
You know, you got the Portuguese man of wars that have just shown up, and then you got the
python.
Yeah, but
great whites.
The time before we saw some dolphins. That was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably why we didn't see any sharks that day.
Probably.
Because usually we see them off the pier, but we didn't see any, and then all of a sudden here comes two dolphins.
We were down
hanging out.
They said that day they were catching squid.
Yeah.
For some reason, that's all they were catching was squid. So
we saw
that could have been
Daytona, and my son, who is ADHD, was younger at the time, was out there swimming, and he decides he wants to swim and chase the dolphins. No, he takes off. But yeah, it was real pretty to see him.
I used to see him out in Ocean City all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
I would go out there if I saw some. I'm out swimming. I'd go out and try and
Go after
play
them?
with them. Yeah, I go out and hang out with them.
I will tell you though, I really want to see a hammerhead. I haven't seen a hammerhead shark since I left the last time I went to Ocean City.
I don't think I've only seen them in the aquarium and stuff.
Yeah, they used to swim out there in the summertime because the water there is cooler than down here. But last year, in March or April, a hammerhead had they figure she had about 40 babies.
Wow.
Here down in near between Navarre and Pensacola. So Navarre is east and Pensacola is west. And so, but we apparently have them. I just haven't seen them yet. And so far, shark wise, I think we saw one small one?
Couple small.
Cat hair on your face. So it's funny. I mean, we see more fish when we're just walking in the water than we do from the piers.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. You can't see much wildlife in Middle River.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Well, back in the 70s, we actually did in Hawthorne, that we did a cleanup. We had an extreme low tide, and they had us go out there in big, boots and stuff, and we tried to clean it up there at the park. I don't even know if that park is still there, but it was basically straight across. There's some houses, a couple rows of row homes there, and then the park. And they had us go out there to try to clean it up, but it was so muddy that you really couldn't get much. But we tried. But same as Deep Creek, it was clear at times, and then it wasn't.
Right.
So, but I would never have eaten anything out of either one of those.
No.
Out further, maybe. But did you ever go out to Gunpowder State Park?
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
Out in that area is where Frank saw the wild man.
Yeah.
Have you? No, actually, it's right in that area that it was. It's more off of Ebenezer Road there is the area in which he saw this thing. He was walking through the woods, and he saw this thing, and he said it's jumped down out of a tree, landed in front of him, and then basically jumped straight up onto a branch in a tree.
Oh, wow.
And he thinks it might have been something that escaped from the Aberdeen Proving Grounds.
Oh, well, that could be. I mean, even Edgewood Arsenal. I just recently watched a documentary. I think it was on Netflix about Edgewood Arsenal.
Oh, really?
And that's what would shake our house, because we live on Trimble Road there, and our house would shake and stuff from Edgewood Arsenal. But about the mustard and different stuff they did on people, different, testing.
Yeah, my cousin lives over in Edgewood.
Oh, okay.
So there was
very well could have been from one of them, because they did do some testing on them.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't know that after World War I and World War II, they brought home a lot of these experiments that were being done in other countries and took them to places like the Aberdeen Proving Ground and Area 51 and things like that, up to Ohio. There's that one Air Force base there that they used to store, that said that they used to store UFOs. Right,
Patterson Park, and
it
got hit last week, and one of the tornadoes hit it.
Oh, did it?
Damaged a hangar and damaged an airplane, and the tornado also hit the museum and damaged some artifacts and stuff in there. But
so it's quite possible that parts of the UFO became airborne again.
It could have been, yeah.
Good head.
Who knows?
E.T. went home.
Quite possibly.
Finally.
Everybody's out there looking.
Hey there, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Hi, Christopher.
So, have you ever had a possible cryptozoology, cryptid type of experience anywhere?
No.
Do you ever think that you ran into Bigfoot?
Nope.
I'm always interested in
Mothman
that.
or
I
any
had
of
some
those.
people
Yeah.
take us to Bigfoot. The one guy had a radio show or something and wanted us to go, so we went, but we didn't. I didn't experience anything. It's not something that is a big interest of mine, though. I've watched things on it and listened to people and stuff about it, but it's not something that I go out and seek or try to find. So
When you were visiting in West Virginia, did you guys go over to Mount Pleasant?
no, we haven't been to Mount Pleasant. And the story there I can tell you from genealogy, but it's documented too, is that a great great grandfather of mine was there when the chief Cornwallis with York.
Yeah,
His
Cornwallis
name
was York,
Yeah,
Pennsylvania.
Corn something is his name. It's a Native American chief when they got his son and stuff, where he put the curse on the town of Mount Pleasant. And my great grandfather was looking right at him when he did it. Talks about it. Yeah. That's kind of freaky.
And who'd think that a town could become famous for a cryptid? Oh,
Right.
that's right. Van Meter did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I got an EVP at a house, though, a private house in Baltimore, that said, I said, is there anybody down there? I was coming down to the basement, and it said, no, just me, Ingrid Cole, which is
Oh,
the Mothman prophecy, where he said his name was Ingrid Cole. That was freaky.
yeah.
I was like, what the heck?
I bet. Because now you're going, also, you're a liar. But
Right.
So apparently you had a very sarcastic spirit there that was
Right.
playing games on you.
Right.
You said the house you grew up in, you had things going on there. It had to get exercised.
Yes.
What? How old were you?
I gotta think. 8, 9.
What
maybe.
was going on? Do you remember?
Yeah. Well, let's see. I know my mom woke up once and her head went straight back to the picture of Jesus that was by her bed. She worked third shift. And the Jesus picture fell to the floor. And then she had these creatures of something. I don't know if they were I don't know, demons or not leprechauns, but you would think about the size of that, all holding hands and dancing around the bed, chanting.
I know what I was thinking.
Then my dad also saw it, and he said when he saw it, he just said, "You're just an ugly son of a," I saw it too. The night that it happened to me, I was in the living room sleeping, and I heard somebody. I had my back to the, I was up against the couch. My face was. I heard somebody walk by me and go to the kitchen. I just thought it was mom or dad or something.
Yeah.
And then they come back by and they stopped by me. So I turned around and looked. Turned my head around. There was nobody there. So I got up and I was little. I went in and I leaned up against mom and dad's bedroom door because they kept it locked. And I leaned up against it. Well, right next to it was the bathroom. The bathroom door was open and the sink was right there. So the water started at a slow trickle in the faucet and then it became full blast. And then I started pounding on mom and dad's door. So they let me in and I was on the floor and I had turned my head towards the closet. And that's when I saw this green, yellow looking funky thing, just looking at me. And I hopped up and jumped in bed with mom and dad, which I was a little too old to be doing that, but I jumped in between them. And yeah, but we had family come in from West Virginia and they had just got there. And the one went in to lay down to go to sleep. And he woke up with somebody's hand on his shoulder, shaking him. There was nobody there. He hopped up. They left immediately, went back to West Virginia, went and stayed there. I had all kinds of friends that wouldn't stay with me anymore. let's see. I know my sister had experiences. My brother had experiences. Well, see, my mom and dad, my dad had become friends with a guy called Richard Greener, and I've tried finding, locating, researching him. He had like a paranormal talk show that came out of Kentucky, but was for Cincinnati back then. And my dad became friends with him and started having him come out to the house. Well, they started doing, I don't know, seances and stuff. As all of us kids and my mom's friends' kids, we were on the bedroom. They were having their seance thing out there. Our door slammed shut and locked, and they couldn't get in and we couldn't get out. There's just several stuff happened that, you know, they all had different experiences, but so they ended up getting the house exercised.
Sound like it quite
who
possibly
did the exercise?
Huh?
Who exercised it?
I really don't know. I was a little girl. I mean, I was like 9, 10, 8, 9, 10, something like that. I don't know who actually. I know it wouldn't have been a priest, because we're not of that belief. Mom wouldn't have had a priest come in. So I'm thinking, you know, it was a preacher or pastor or something that came in and did it.
So you stayed in the house after that? Or did the house still there?
Leave?
Yes, the house is still there. It still stands. Yep.
Sounds like it could have been. I'm gonna go the long way to get to the other one. The first thing is by color, you would think possibly alien.
Yeah.
And then the next thing would be, it sounded like some things that I've seen that I called imps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you could say, yeah.
Like devil's minions. You know, they're annoying. They're scary. They can combine themselves to be bigger. You know,
or bad leisure suits.
Yeah, well, that's possible too. I mean, it was the 70s most likely, so bad leisure suits were a big thing at that time.
Yeah,
it's a picture. Something standing by Denise is real short, but it looks like it's wearing a 1970s bad leisure suit, a maroon color, with a really weird looking face.
Where were you when you got it?
Sally
House in the basement.
Yeah,
she hardly ever
came up in that basement.
Yeah, she hardly ever came down in the basement.
Oh, really? You didn't like
one of the few times she showed up there.
When we had big events, I had to go down there. So, but usually I was up on the main floor because somebody had to be there to greet the guests and take their tickets and all that other stuff. And so I would do that while everybody else did all these other things. But I would just recite the history of the house and let them ask questions and things like that. So,
babysit.
Yeah, babysit. And that happened.
Babysit too?
Huh?
You had to babysit?
Yeah.
Adults.
We actually had a lady that had gone on the tour.
And some kids.
She went on the tour. Ron and I were separated. He had to go on the graveyard tour, and I had to go on the walking tour.
Oh, okay.
And he met this lady there at the walking tour of the cemetery and stuff. She had her son William with her. And later on, she showed up at the Sally house. She wanted to use her son as a trigger object.
Yeah.
And I said, that's not a good idea. I said, why don't you let him stay here with me? I'm going nowhere. And you go in and enjoy the house on your own. And the little kid, I just held him and he fell asleep on my shoulder. And I just kept talking.
He was little.
He was a baby.
He might have been.
Don't think what they're doing, do they?
No, he might have been.
Amazing how adults act.
And she didn't have a car seat or anything for him in the house. So, I mean, I basically had to hold him for 2 hours. So,
she brought him in to use as a trigger object in the Sally house.
Unreal. That's unreal.
Luckily, somebody had some common sense.
You're right.
You know, here, let me hold your kid. I love kids.
Well, just think, if you guys wouldn't have been there, what would have happened?
Nobody
would. It's awful to think what could have happened. Her doing something like that. Something could have happened to that child. It could have hurt him for life, or could have attached to him.
Or she probably would have bumped his head going down the stairs to the basement.
Oh yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun up there, but some strange things did happen at Sally House back in.
There's supposed to be a house. Now, I was told about it probably about 10 years ago or so by my ex brother-in-law that there's a house there that somebody's offering if you stay in it all night, they'd give you the house. But they didn't take me to it. I told them I'd stay all night.
Yeah. I mean, that's the one thing. I'm not scared to stay anywhere.
Right.
I mean, we've slept in a graveyard. I was more concerned about the guy with the gun that might come hunting in the morning.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, that, because it's out in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Christopher Pittman says, may or may not have crossed paths with a skinwalker last night at the Labadie Cemetery. Footsteps 10 feet away from Shelby. Then the steps went totally silent. They were very heavy and clear. We started driving and the Jeep started hearing some whistling back at the same spot. Hey there, Joe.
Joe?
We were talking
Hi,
about
Joe.
you. This lady stayed at the Drummer Boy campground there in
She's
Gettysburg.
from Maryland, Baltimore.
Well, she's from Ohio, but she lived in Baltimore for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
So we were talking about you earlier, but not by name, just about the Drummer Boy campground that you'd mentioned.
Right.
So he's in Hagerstown.
Oh, okay.
So so you know that area and he's done multiple tours at in Gettysburg.
Oh, okay.
He's got a friend that owns one of the houses there, and he recommends the Cashtown Inn to people.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been to the Cashtown Inn?
I went there, but we sat outside of it. From what we heard, it was supposed to be things on the outside or marching past it. But I haven't been in it, no.
Okay. I know a friend of mine's friend owns it.
Oh, okay.
So I know quite a few people in the area, and most of them are from Maryland that are transplants to Pennsylvania.
That would be my dream.
To be transplanted to Pennsylvania?
To Gettysburg, yes. Yep. I mean, I wouldn't have moved here, but circumstances as they were, I came back for my brother.
Yeah, you did what you had to do for your family.
Exactly.
You talked about you talked about going to get ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I know this is going to sound weird, but where did you go to get ice cream in Gettysburg?
Oh, that famous place. What's it called?
Friendly's Ice Cream?
No.
Oh,
God.
We went to Friendly's every day we were there, but that was my first job. I worked at Friendly's.
No, they have one in St. Augustine too, the same place. I can't remember the name.
Oh, okay.
We
probably ate there, but because we look for ice cream everywhere we go. We have to have it on vacation. Because the ice cream calories don't stay with you when you're on vacation.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They just go away. They just go away. Well, Joe, you have fun in Kansas and enjoy the battlefields. What did Tara spell up here that she thinks she may have spelled wrong?
It might be the name of the ice cream place. That's my daughter.
Yeah. Let's see.
T-E-A.
We had a couple things all come in around the same time.
No.
So, there's nothing else.
Nothing up there.
Oh.
Yeah, I just had to check and make sure I don't want to ignore her.
Right.
So,
she thought of what the ice cream place was. I forget the name, but I know they have it in St. Augustine too. And they put a fan up there in St. Augustine, so that old cobblestone road you walk, that smell just gets sent up there. It's like you want them waffle cones so bad.
Oh yeah.
Yep, it was Kilwins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kilwins.
Good
Yeah.
job, Ron.
That's it.
We have one on the, they call it a boardwalk here, but it's not. It's the shopping area on the bay side of Pensacola that they have a Kilwins. And there's also one in St. Charles, Missouri, right there on the strip there. We ate there as well. So, yep, we know our ice cream. The ice cream parlor across from the Farnsworth house.
Yeah,
we went there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Joe knows. He knows. He's
okay.
like you. He
knows. He knows a lot of people up there in Gettysburg.
He knows his map of Gettysburg very well. So, so you've already answered the question about if you could go anywhere, where would you go?
Right.
If Gettysburg wasn't on the list, where would you go?
Oh, well, I mean, I definitely want to be with my kids and my grandkids. That's a given, you know.
Let's go with paranormal wise, because we all know that our kids and grandkids are top number one.
First, right. Oh, that's a toughie. I mean, my second favorite place is St. Augustine, but I don't know that I would want to live down there and deal with hurricanes and stuff. You know, I don't know if I would do that.
Do you know that they never get hit with hurricanes for some reason?
No, I didn't know that. St. Augustine don't? But then I guess
the Space Coast part doesn't hardly ever gets hit with hurricanes. That's why they built Cape Canaveral there.
Oh wow, I did not know that.
I think it's a government conspiracy to control the weather, and they keep it away from there.
Oh, okay. Well, as long as they keep doing that.
Yeah.
You been to Antietam much?
I did visit Antietam. Yes, a few times. Yes, I visited all of them around there. Manassas, Bull Run, Fredericksburg. I did all of them. You know. Yeah. But the draw was Gettysburg.
Yeah.
And there's probably a reason for it.
That's just where I wanted to be, you know.
Yeah.
I really want to go to Antietam now that I know I have a cousin who owns a house on the field.
Oh, well, aren't you lucky?
Yeah. It was a church, and it's her house now.
It's not Dunker, is it?
Or I don't know. I don't know. I didn't get a chance to talk to her about it because
that was at the famous church there that
when we met, my aunt was in the hospital and we were getting ready to go have my show at my cousin's house.
Yeah.
So I didn't have time to talk with her, but I think she sat there and watched us do the show for a little while until she had to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And so we talk every now and then, but yeah, I'd love to check out Antietam.
So has she said anything happened to her there?
Yeah, she said that they've had all kinds of stuff happen.
Oh, wow.
And the funny thing is when she met me, it was the first time she ever met me. And she said that she recognized me from TV. And I was like, oh, well, no, it could be from your cousin's picture, you know, your uncle's pictures, you know, because my uncle shares my picture all the time. So it's kind of funny. But of course, she might have also recognized me because I look like my mom, and she had met my mom a few times.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. My mom was always, when I was on the other show, she was always in chat. So my mom would have remembered you if she was still here. She always remembered all my guests.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. And always asked about them.
Yep.
So Joe knows the farmer who owns property on the field.
But we didn't have video then.
We didn't have video then, so you couldn't see me.
Oh.
Of course, for some people, video is fun, and for others, they wish they didn't have it. So, and I used to do the show from my bed. I used to sit in the bed and just do the show.
Yeah, because you didn't have to worry about when anybody saw.
Didn't have to worry about getting dressed or brushing my hair.
Doing
Yep.
all the other battlefields, I never collected information, evidence like I have from Gettysburg. But then again, you can also say I didn't spend as much time there as the time that I spent there in Gettysburg. You know, I just didn't catch, and I don't know. There was just the feeling too, but of Gettysburg. Which one EVP I have, I caught said, "I've always loved you, babe." That's kind of weird.
Yeah. Yes. So the question Joe asks, Denise and Ron, do you believe Atchison is cursed?
Yeah, there's something
He
about
does.
that. Yeah, there's something about that town is just, it's off. Something's off.
There's no reason for a town to be flooded that many times, tornadoes that many times, fires that many times.
Where's this from?
Atchison, Kansas, where the Sally House is.
Oh, okay.
I did all kinds of research on the town when we were helping with this movie, and
The people are
back
a
afterwards.
little weird.
Yeah.
That's a nice way. We're being nice, of course.
I mean, you know,
but
Angie's about the only normal one.
Yeah, and we miss Angie. We miss Joe too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a weird town. I mean, you went from being a town with multiple millionaires to what 75% of the children are on government assistance in
From
that town.
October to December. Wow.
Oh, now that's not good. 8 suicides from October to December.
Wow.
Last year.
And that's, you know, and part of the people dying there could be because the hospital's so stupid.
Right.
They just called it suicide.
Huh?
They just called it a suicide.
But yeah, their hospital there is horrible. There was one time we did an event with Joe, and we did it was dinner and a ghost hunt on Valentine's Day, and we got done at 2:00 in the morning, and Joe invited us to stay, and I said no, I got to go home. It's 2:00 in the morning. We live an hour and a half away.
Right.
We got to go home. I get home. Next morning, I'm sick as a dog. Don't know what's wrong. End up in the doctor's office the following day, and I couldn't hardly stand up. And they go, "We think you have labyrinthitis." Well, which is an inner ear virus.
Oh, okay.
It was strep. Yeah, it was horrible. And so we went.
Oh yeah, he was sick.
And so when we went, I went to after 2 weeks, I wasn't getting any better. Ron took me back to the doctor and said, "This isn't getting any better." And they think that I had a heart attack and didn't know it.
Oh my God.
Because I had all the symptoms of a possible heart attack. Because as a woman, your symptoms, there's like 10 more symptoms for a woman than there is for a man.
Right.
But they did a stress test, and by the time we got to the cardiologist, I was doing a lot better. And he goes, "I don't know what happened." He goes, "It doesn't make any sense." And he goes, "Your stress test is fine. Just keep doing what you're doing. You'll live forever. Thank you." And of course, what's funny is every time I went to see that heart doctor, he always asked me, "What paranormal stuff are you doing now?" And 10 minutes of the visit would be paranormal stuff that he would ask me questions about. He goes, "I always prepared for your appointments." I was like, "Well, you had time when you were that late to get there." He was always late.
Yeah.
So, but luckily he's not the doctor doing my heart surgery next month.
Oh, you're having heart surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my prayers will be with you.
Well, thank you. And I'm not happy about it, but I'm getting more used to it, the idea.
Right.
So, and Carl, I'll tell you what I got after the show. I don't think that's meant to be public.
Okay.
From somebody else. So.
Oh.
But yeah. So,
okay.
Well, we got 15 minutes left of the show.
Okay.
Carl, do you have the commercial ready?
No, I don't have it ready yet. It's all going to be ready next week and stuff.
you want to tell everybody what the commercial will be about?
We're going to be advertising ghost tech gear and everything. We had him on the show last week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And everything. And he's got some devices. Now, he's sold out of some of them right now, waiting for a new order to come in so he can create them. And it's a lot of different things in it. We'll put it that way, the way it's made. He didn't tell us everything, which I can understand, the secret of the business and stuff. But there's going to be a lot of gear and everything available on that website because we're affiliate with it now to advertise on all the shows. So make sure you check that out.
The device is called the Epic Box.
Yeah, the Epic Box.
EPOCH.
That's one of them.
If you want to, that was the main one.
Mm-hmm.
That was the main one.
Yeah, if you want to
really excited with it's a yes and no box, but the software in it is designed different. There's 6 different types of software, something like that, along with it. I'm not for sure, but it's quite interesting. I'm waiting for him to get it in so we can order one and get one and try it out and see what it's all about.
We're talking about it too. It's like a digital dowsing rod.
Pretty much, but it uses more information than just your dowsing rod.
It's a lot in the software and everything. So that commercial will be ready next week, and you'll see it on Paranormal Pride next week for the first show that it'll be live on.
Cool.
I'll work on it this weekend and everything.
And Catherine, where can everybody find you if they'd like to reach out to you?
Facebook. Just Facebook.
Don't be surprised if you have a 5 to 6 month wait for your response. But
I'm so sorry. I was off. My phone broke, and it kept wanting, and I couldn't get back on. The screen was broke, so I couldn't get on Facebook to change my phone number. So I kept sending the security code to the old phone. So I couldn't get on Facebook. About that. So I just went through hell. Oh, excuse me. And then my daughter finally got me back on. Sorry it took that long to get back to you.
It's okay. I figure eventually somebody will see the messages. I mean, if you went back and looked, you saw that I probably wished you happy birthday every year.
Every year. I ain't went back that far.
So at least since I've known you, you figure, like I said, I've known you probably at least 8 years.
8 years, yeah.
So, but if you guys want to find the show when I interviewed her last time, you can go check out, Mixcloud. It's out there on Mixcloud under Denise Myers Pridemore, probably, or the Paranormal Pride. You can look it up. And if you put in the Paranormal Pride and Catherine Lee, it'll probably come up. So,
more likely.
Yeah, I mean, I've got almost 9 years of shows out there, so you're bound to find something.
Right.
And I'm working on trying to get them transitioned to YouTube.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, you guys please join me next Monday night for, I forgot who my guest is. I just booked them.
You didn't even tell me.
Yeah, I just booked them and can't remember. It's somebody I don't know. I'm trying, like I said, I'm trying to get new guests in here, people that you guys have never met, or if you have met, I haven't met them. So I'm working on that. So, and I would still want to warn everybody that there's going to be times where I'm not going to want to have a show because of all the crap going on with my heart. So I might not have a show when you expect one, but I guarantee I will not have a show on April 8th. And
a month away.
And we will probably not be on April 9th on here.
Right.
So, but as long as I tell people that, they don't, otherwise, if I don't tell people that I'm not coming on, I get a message. Do you have a show? And I appreciate you guys reaching out and asking.
Okay, to get to your other shows, how do you get to them?
Oh, yeah. The Paranormal Pride is right here on Bill of Rights Network. It's also on the Paranormal Pride YouTube page and Facebook page. Also on Japan Paranormal.
Rumble.
And Rumble. And LinkedIn. Denise Pridemore LinkedIn.
Right.
Which I'm starting to get a lot more people watching there.
Are you?
Don't know why. Maybe because I got a new job. It made everybody go, "Oh, she's still alive."
Oh, could be.
Who knows?
But yeah,
So,
we're live on all those pages, she said, plus on Things Network Facebook, where you can find this show, and on the Temple of Phoenix Rising Entertainment Facebook page.
Okay.
And always on Japan Paranormal or live over in Japan.
Goodness,
So-
you have all kinds of them.
Mm-hmm.
We're
And they're
live right
all-
now.
they're
We're
not
live
one
on
link to
8
all of
different. Yeah, we're live on 8 different locations right now.
Oh, okay.
Pick your favorite.
yeah, it's just two shows that are these two shows that we're on, and then all the other shows Carl has on other areas as well. Not necessarily all the networks, but if you really want to find out where we are, search Born TV on Rumble or Bill of Rights Network on Facebook, and you can find out where we are and where the shows are and the schedules and everything. And you keep an eye on that page to find out when Father Kenneth's show is going to be starting.
Exactly.
I'm excited for that. You know, he's so knowledgeable, and he started out his first shows on Paranormal King just like me. So
Oh,
So
Yeah.
check out the Paranormal Pride every Monday night at 7 p.m. Central, and hopefully I'll be there.
all right.
Right.
Sounds good.
Sorry, kitty cat.
Okay. We will see everybody next week here on Paranormal Nation Radio. Not so normal. So everybody have a great evening, and we'll see you then.
All right. Bye.
Night.
Right.
Night night.